Well, let's talk about your project management. So, what?
Okay.
Let's first talk about your course. If you're watching this presentation, those of you who are watching this little webinar, you may not be familiar with Pure. Pure is a collection of real-world project managers teaching how projects really work, how they work out in the real world, and then you work towards a credential at the end of the program. So, Tanya, why don't you tell us your course? She's one of 20 instructors, or 20 classes in this program. Let's talk about your course and why it's unique to the program and how it relates to real world project management.
So my course, and I consider myself a risk manager, but not a risk specialist necessarily. But when I was deciding on the array of different topics that I could choose to tackle for this,
Mhm.
just my life and some of the different lessons that I've learned throughout it, whether it be from loss, or even working on a program where my job in disaster recovery was because other people suffered. That gave me my
Right.
job, and it was their risks. It gave me the reward of figuring out how to help them, but I'll say since the pandemic, I'd had 3 full-time jobs. I moved from Baton Rouge, Louisiana to Lafayette, Louisiana in 2019 to be closer to my dad after I had my passing of my mother. And just in those years, it was like the pandemic came up, I guess about 10 months into living here. I went through 3 layoffs. But right now, looking back, I don't regret any of that because that gave me the opportunity to be exactly where I'm at. Had I not gone through that, I probably wouldn't have had the time and capacity to do this program, which channels more of my creativity, my abilities.
Sure.
So I really do. I know that risks are opportunities, threats, but I'm kind of an optimist at heart, although I try to be realistic. So this course is really about presenting the silver lining of risks. It's something that we're going to face. It's something that we're going to have to deal with, but we can adjust our mindset. So from a formal standpoint of project management, I was like, okay, people aren't going to accept just my optimistic silver lining view on this. How do I frame this with different real world scenarios that people might face? Risks of supply chain, risks of stakeholder conflict or disagreement. So that framed the idea. And then I additionally decided, okay, this would be fun if I had power tools to address each one of these risk scenarios, so I can creatively train people on the terminology and give them ideas of tools that they might want to check into or use at their day jobs. So that was a lot of the idea behind it.